What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another classic WoW video for Season of Discovery. Now, I have recently hit level 60 in Season of Discovery Phase 4, and it took me about a week, but I finally got here, and I say finally knowing that a lot of people are level 60 by now, and a lot of you guys watching may not even be level 60. Now, for me, I've been playing this game very casually in this phase. I do want to say though, I have really enjoyed every single minute that I have been playing, so for everything that I've been saying about Season of Discovery, I've been making some videos kind of talking negatively about it. I want to say I'm having fun when playing. There are definitely certain parts of Phase 3 that I'm not overly enthusiastic about, which I might get over in this video, like talk about them a little bit, but overall, this phase is looking pretty decent, and even though I am not playing it that actively anymore, I'm not making that many videos on SOD, I am still keeping tabs on what's happening in the game itself, and yeah, I'm just keeping tabs on what's happening. I'm playing the game a little bit more offline, just enjoying the game, without any input from other people telling me what to do and if I should enjoy it or not. I am just logging on, playing the game the way I want to play, and trying to have fun, and so far, once again, every single minute that I've been playing, I have had fun. So based on that, this phase is looking pretty successful. If I'm able to have fun all the time, that is absolutely amazing. I just wanted to get that out there, just to give a quick TLDR on how I feel about Phase 4 so far, and tell you guys that we have gotten to level 60 on my mage. I also have level 51 on my alt, but we did have full rested experience on the alt, so leveling goes really fast. In Phase 4, like some people got to level 60 in the first 10 hours of gameplay. It took me about 16 hours of gameplay, but even then, that's 2 hours per day for a week, and then you're level 60. Now, even though I am focusing a lot on the War Within content right now, and the primary objective on this channel moving forwards will be to help you guys in the War Within, I have spent the better part of the last 8 months focusing only on Season of Discovery and Cataclysm Classic, so I don't want you guys to think that I'm abandoning Classic entirely. I am just focusing content on retail to help people get prepared for retail, and for the brand new expansion as well. Plus, I feel like I've made the guides that I wanted to make for Season of Discovery, so I kind of feel like I have achieved something. And the past couple of weeks, one of the reasons why I've been going pretty casually in Phase 4 is that I've been pretty busy. I've been playing the War Within beta, learning everything that I can. Well, I haven't been objectively busy, I have just chosen to spend my time, well, that's my game by the way, that's a world buff timer, but yeah, I've chosen to spend my time in the War Within beta, learning as much as I can about the upcoming expansion to make better guides for you guys. That includes learning everything that I can about professions, finding gold farms, and learning how systems interact with each other. Now, if you want to have access to the information that I have based on my beta knowledge so far, and you want to have access to it faster than it took me to make it, well, I've made a War Within Goldmaking Guide. If you have my classic WoW Goldmaking Guide, or the Cataclysm one, you know what this is about, like you know how these guides work. It's a document, a PDF document, currently 88 pages by the way, based on the beta so far, about everything I know when it comes to gold making in the War Within. Now, it's only the first edition. This will keep getting updated. I even have an update in mind that I'm working on right now for investments, for example, for the War Within, and when you buy the guide once, it's a one-time payment, which also means that when I update the guide, you get those updates sent to you for free. Now, I have just made this guide public this week, and you can get it for 50% off, that is right, half price, by using the code Solheim, and the link to it will be down below. Any purchases of this guide really helps me out, and I do want to thank you so much for the support. It really means a lot to me, and I make it my goal to help you guys make as much gold as possible in the brand new expansion. Now, to sweeten the deal even more, when you buy this guide right here, the War Within Goldmaking Guide, you also get the Dragonflight Goldmaking Guide for free in that same purchase. So that means you can use the Dragonflight Goldmaking Guide to make gold right now in Dragonflight, leading up to the War Within, and then you can use the War Within one to make gold in the War Within as well. So 2 guides for the price of one, and that one is half price. Now, I do understand that a lot of classic players might not want to play retail, and that's completely fine. That is your decision, but I also know that some people do. And if you do and you want to make gold and support me at the same time, once again, this guide is going to be the perfect one for you, and you will be able to make a lot more gold than if you didn't have the guide. We had ways to make millions of gold from Dragonflight, and I still have screenshots of feedback from that Dragonflight Goldmaking Guide of people making over 50 million gold with the various methods that we uncovered and shared in that Goldmaking Guide and the Discord server you get access to when you buy the guide. Like, you're getting the guide plus early access to goldmaking videos, early access to gold farms, and even exclusive goldmaking methods as well. In Dragonflight we had several ways to make some of the best gold in the game, and those videos never went public, and the aim is and the goal is to do the same thing in the War Within. Either way, that's a bit of a shout out. Once again, I'm really happy about the guide so far, and I do want to thank you guys so much for the support. It really means a lot to me, going from retail, going from classic content to focusing a little bit on the upcoming retail expansion. It really means a lot to me that you guys are supporting that too, and just watching the videos. Even if you're not buying the guide, just watching the videos, it really means a lot to me, so thank you so much. Now, today I wanted to check out the video by Ebonheart talking about Phase 4, and this is going to be a reaction style video, where that's the guide once again, but this is going to be a reaction style video. So this is going to be the video we're reacting to today. It's a 15-minute video, and I'm probably going to be talking a lot about my personal experience in Phase 4 as well, so it's probably going to turn into quite a long video. That being said, if you want to check out Ebonheart's video, the OG video without my commentary, I will link it down below. I don't want to take any views away from Ebonheart. He's a really good person. We have talked a lot in private as well, and I have been watching pretty much every single one of his videos, and I love them all. Like, this is one of the creators that I probably talk to the most behind the scenes as well. He's a really chill guy, and the kind of hype he has for Phase 4, it's really enthusiastic, and it's going on to me as well. Like, when he's enthusiastic, I become enthusiastic too. So we're going to check out this video, see what he has to say, and once again I will be reacting to it. So if you want to have a full view of this video without me reacting, go and check it out. And even if you don't, please go and still check it out. The views for him also matters, and the support for him also matters. That being said, let me stop the music in the game so we can focus on this video. Let me pop it out to full screen, and let's go.
Good news and bad news go hand in hand, and in World of Warcraft especially, those two things are married. Let's start with the good news first. We have a whole new dungeon, Demonfall Canyon, and it's amazing. Massive amounts of item rework, so many new ways to build, so much itemization and fun. New runes, especially the ring runes, they're amazing, allows for more flexibility and play, and so many new endgame fun activities to do. The endgame is upon us, and we finally get to enjoy all the level 60 content and all of its glory. But the bad, and that is PvP servers and Blackrock Mountain. And just how cancer it is for so many groups of people, mostly Alliance players. It's probably the single...
Dude, I love the fact that you said this, because we had such a rant yesterday in our guild. But I also want to say, PvP servers are meant to be like this. Well, maybe not meant to be, but when I think about Classic WoW 2019, on a balanced PvP server, this is exactly how it was back then as well. So for me, it just reminds me of how things used to be. And I feel like some layers are really horde populated, where they gather and do PvP, and some other layers are really alliance populated. Now, it absolutely sucks when you get stuck on the wrong layer and you can't zone into a raid, but at the same time, that's kind of nostalgic. But how much value do we put on that nostalgia? Let me know in the comments down below. Would you like to have a different type of PvP system, or like maybe some, I don't know what to say, like less PvP outside dungeon zones to avoid people just camping dungeon zones, like dungeon entrances, right? So maybe have a 50-yard area around a dungeon portal where you're unable to PvP, literally unable to PvP, or something like that. I don't know, like, this is hard to do anything about, and all people are doing is complaining without telling Blizzard what to do. And I have this philosophy that if you're going to complain, also come with a suggestion of what you want to see different. And this is one of those scenarios where that's difficult. If you put in a 50-yard range around the dungeon portal with no PvP, that's kind of not how Classic used to be, and I don't know how people would like that. So once again, feedback would be great, and if you're going to complain, at least leave a suggestion of what you would want to see different. So yeah, let me know what you want to see here for PvP outside dungeon portals.
The worst thing in Phase 4, and it's a very bitter thing for a lot of players. So I'll cover that later in the video, because for now, we have to cover all the juicy good content, and there's so much of it. So sit down, get ready, we've got a lot of bullshit to bullshit through. The most major change so far is being able to finally hit level 60 and unlocking the amazing endgame world of Classic WoW.
Yeah.
From all those massive dungeons, Strapholm, Skolo, BRD, UBRS, LBRS, Diamol. So many endgame dungeons and activities are upon us. You get to go into them, grind, group with your guildmates and your friends, hug if you want to, and enjoy the world in all of its amazing glory. For so many people, they get to go into the world in Quest, EPL, in Winterspring, and other zones, and just enjoy the Classic world and ecosystem, what it's meant to be. This amazing, ginormous, beautiful world with so much to discover, so much to enjoy. Even if you've done it all before, it's always fun doing it once again after so much time. Personally for me, I love the Eastern Plaguelands, one of my favorite zones. Nice grind, nice fun. Just a good batch of content right there. But on
just talking about this real quick, my favorite zone when it comes to questing in the level 50 to 60 range is Ungoro Crater. And this has kind of shifted over time. In Classic WoW, this was my least favorite zone, or at least one of them. I really didn't like Ungoro, and I don't really know why. I think I was just scared of Devil Swords. I always have not liked those Devil Swords, they just tear you apart, and if they sneak up on you, you're just dead. But after that, I've gotten better at the game and learned how to play, and I just learned that Devil Swords aren't really something to be as afraid of. I also played hardcore Classic WoW on several classes, like I leveled 2 Warlocks, I leveled a Mage, I leveled a Rogue, leveled a Feral Druid, and every single time I farmed Devil Swords, and I killed Devil Swords and did like Ungoro questing in hardcore where you only have one life. So going through that, it just made me not afraid of Devil Swords anymore at all, and even on my Warlocks as well, we went back and farmed them for gold on a hardcore server. So I just learned how to deal with Devil Swords, even how to deal with King Mosh and run away and do stuff like that. I learned more about the zone, and it's such a good zone because all the quests are so nicely grouped together, and it just makes sense. You run a small lap around the zone, do all the quests, and suddenly you have 20 quests to hand in. And you get a full level, sometimes 1.5 levels. It just depends on when you do Ungoro. You can either go there in the high 40s, like 49 or 50 or 51, and you can also go there at level 55. Sometimes you go there 2 times, sometimes you only go there once. It kind of depends on the build you're going for and the guide you're following. But yeah, Ungoro, really good zone, I love that zone. Didn't do it in Season of Discovery though, I focused a lot on dungeon farming, which I'm quite happy about. I enjoyed the dungeon farming this time.
top of that, we have the amazing new dungeon Demonfall Canyon, where you get to go in there and fight the spirit of Grommash, or in this case the Phantom, a Mirage, a bastard boss that is difficult, which requires your group to get together, actively partake in the mechanics, and just enjoy this new area and ecosystem for the amazing fun that it is. Nobody was really expecting a new dungeon in Phase 4, so the fact that we got this is actually huge news, and I'm very happy.
Yeah, like, I'm actually really happy about that dungeon, and that it's so huge. It's a full dungeon, not just an open world thing with like one boss or something, it's a full-on brand new dungeon. That's quite cool, and for me it's something I've been asking for in Season of Discovery ever since Phase 1, is new content. I'm really happy about the Demonfall Canyon, but I also want to see what we kind of were promised, like Karazhan Crypt, even though that might come when the next Rammus phase comes out. It could be something planned for the future. Either way, I'm just happy to see new content, not just rehashed old content.
About it. But it also makes me think, we've got one new dungeon, but what about more? They use incursion technology to create this instance location in the south of Ashenvale, and if they can do that, imagine what other dungeons they could create. what other parts of the world they could make new dungeons, new raids, new world bosses. There are so many little things that they can do that actually has me very excited. They could technically unlock the Caverns of Time and turn that into a dungeon.
Yes.
We unlock most of the
yeah.
Caverns of Time later on, but with the incursion tech right there, they can do anything they want. Any part of the world could be a dungeon or a raid.
Dude, Caverns of Time, and either make Caverns of Time a raid with all the dungeons inside, or I don't even know, like, there's so many dungeons they could have there from TBC, right? And even Wrath, we have a couple of dungeons from that place. We could get those now in Classic WoW. Once again, that's content we've already had from the past being rehashed and reused and reimagined, but that's not bad. I do want to see all the like other content being reused as well and kind of remastered, if you will, but I also want to see new content. So Caverns of Time could be one or the other, or even both. They could come out with brand new content inside Caverns of Time, and they could also reuse some of the old assets. It could literally be both. That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
They just have to dream it and make it a reality. So that's got me excited for Phase 5 and onwards. Who knows what the devs are cooking?
Yeah.
But I hope to God they're in that kitchen stirring that pot right now. And talking about instance locations, we have the world bosses. They're going to be out in just a few scarce days, and people are going to eat them up. We have Zygor and Kazakh, two iconic bosses, amazing brand new loot table that people are just excited about and interested in. I can't wait to kill them with my guild every 3 days on cooldown, enjoying that juicy loot. Technically it's every 3.5 days because there's 2 lockouts per week, but you guys get what I mean. And then a week after the launch of the world bosses, we get Molten Core and Onyxia. And not just that, we get an 11th mystery boss, amazing new gear, tier 1. So much amazing content is coming our way that we're going to be eating good for months upon months at a time. This isn't going to be like Phase 3, where shit hit the fan, we ran out of content, there was nothing to do, and incursions killed the open world. Phase 4 does not have that issue. So Phase 4 is looking goddamn bright, and I am super excited to enjoy all of this content. On top of that,
I just want to talk about this real quick before he moves on. I just want to see what the chapters are here. Professions, reputations, Blackrock Eruption PvP, PvE and PvP, new dungeon currency, open world, AV, and brand new runes. So while he's talking about we not having incursions, and that not ruining the open world, I want to talk about something else that I saw at the launch of Phase 4, which it's in the same area where you're once again incentivized not to do open world content, but rather dungeon farm. And you kind of need to hear me out here, where there's a couple of different things in place. But first of all, dungeon farming gives a really good experience, and you're allowed to stay in one place 24/7. And well, technically, you just run out and reset, run back out and reset, and you can level 5 to 6 to 7 levels in one dungeon before you start doing something else. In some cases, you literally can do level 50 to 60 in one dungeon. Like for example BRD, I leveled to 60 in BRD. Now I didn't farm BRD, I just went there at level 59 to do some of my attunements and questing, and I hit level 60 from a regular mob in BRD while doing those attunements. But that being said, that was my first BRD, so that's great, but any farming group that knew what they were doing, they could actually do level 50 to 60 really fast in BRD only. Now most people didn't do that, because you did 50 to 56 in BRD, then 56 to 60 in LBRS. But that being said, dungeons were so good to farm that people did those over open world questing, because first of all, it's faster, easier, you're farming your pre-raid abyss at the same time. Like many bosses in BRD+, they start dropping really good items. Now, quest items, they are not scaled up. Like, they haven't touched quest items for the most part. They are still the same old quest items. But dungeon items, they have been tuned up. They have gotten their stats increased to the point where they're now pre-raid best in slot, and you really want to farm dungeons. In addition to that, you have the brand new currency, the Tarnished Undermined Real, which if I take this away here, you can see we have 47 Tarnished Undermined Reals on my character, And you can start getting these as early as in BRD, when you're killing like the first kill of a level 55 plus boss every single day will give you one of this currency. This currency can be exchanged for level 60 gear and also boxes with consumables or materials. So you can get elemental fires, you can get dream foil, you can even get arcane crystals, you can get all of those things. So you were once again incentivized to do dungeons, which is not open world content, it's instance content, because it was faster, it's easier, it is less like, what do you call it? It's just easier. There's a lower barrier to entry, and you also get PvP'd less. Like if you're on a PvP server, PvP happens in the open world. When you're in an instance, there's no world PvP. The only PvP is when you go out, and if you go out, reset, go back in fast enough, you never die anyway. Speaking from experience here, doing UBRS when there's lots of horde outside, trying to gank you with world PvP, just massive AoE spells. So once again, incentivized to do dungeons even while leveling, and definitely at max level. So one of the things that I would like to see, and I'm betting nobody's going to agree with me here, but we have an experience boost in Season of Discovery. Like for example, this guy is level 41, and he has 150% increased experience gains. He also gets 300% gold gained from quests. Now, if you have done any quests in Classic WoW, you probably know this, but many quests don't give you gold at all. Now, the last quest in a quest chain usually gives you, like, let's just say level 40 plus, you get 2 gold per quest at the end of a quest chain. Now, that's gonna be like 6 gold now. But before that happens, you do like 5 quests where they give you literally no gold, and many of the quests, instead of giving you raw gold rewards, they give you a weapon, like a green weapon that you can then sell for gold, but that gold value has not been increased. It's only the direct gold that you get from quests, and that's just speaking about the gold aspect. If they really wanted people to be out in the open world, they need to make open world leveling the best way to go. Players, gamers, Classic WoW gamers, in 2024, even just anything 2018 plus, we look for the path of least resistance to get to our goal the fastest. When dungeon farming is the fastest, we dungeon farm, even if we enjoy questing more. If dungeon farming gets us to level 60 faster, we're going to dungeon farm. And I'm not speaking for everyone here, but about 90% of people, even if questing is like more fun to you, if dungeon farming is significantly faster, you will do that instead, even if you have to pain yourself through it. Because the objective you're trying to hit is level 60 as fast as possible. So what I would want to see happen is experience gains increased by 150% like we have right now, and an additional 50 to 100% experience gains only from quests. Like we had in Season of Mastery, where they gave you more experience from quests. And what did we see in Season of Mastery? Well, less people dungeon farmed. Some people still did, definitely, but a lot more people did quests, because they directly increased experience gains from quests, which means that people quested more. And they also increased the experience even further for dungeon quests, right? So you were just incentivized to, first of all, quest more and group up once per dungeon to do the quests, because they now gave you even more experience. So they both put focus on the open world, but also teamwork to like find a group to do dead mines, for example, just once, instead of finding a group then farming for 10 hours. So you did the dungeons once for the quests and then went back and did more quests, which made the open world feel so alive. And I really liked that. And phase 4, we have dungeon farming, just from 50 to 60, everyone is dungeon farming. Level 60 plus, once again dungeon farming. Phase 3, we had the incursions. I feel like this whole season is just been, ever since phase 2, there's been such a lack of open world focus and a lot more dungeon focus or instance focus. It's like Blizzard took the world out of World of Warcraft, intentionally. So yeah, rant over, back to the video.
You have all the new profession gear, all the craftables, making people need to grind Timber Moorhold rep, or grind Thorium Brotherhood rep, or Hydraction Waterlords. Yep. So many of the professions in the world, so many of those reputations just weren't worth grinding or doing because the gear was meh. Sure, there might have been one good piece here, there, an enchant here, a consumable there, but for the most part, people just didn't really do them aside from the sweatiest of sweaties. But now in Phase 4 and Season of Discovery in particular, Timbermore Hall does some amazing craftables.
Yeah.
Argent Dawn has some amazing gear. You need those enchants from the Argent Dawn, for example. So when you consider this entire combined open world now being alive, people all across the world grinding and enjoying this content, Phase 4 is the most alive side has been since essentially Phase 2 and Phase 3 did things to the world. I'm not going to cover that in this video, but everybody knows it was pretty goddamn bad.
Yeah.
So Phase 4 is like Phase 1's resurgence. It's going to be great. At least I hope so. Let's check back in 1 month and let's see what I'm saying then, though.
Once again, I think when I've logged into Phase 4, I've had fun every single minute that I've played, but it really has some drawbacks. I just had a 4-minute rant about, like, one of the things that I don't like, but even apart from that, I'm still having fun, enjoying my time every single minute. I'm still enjoying Phase 4. Is it as good as Phase 1? Not even remotely close.
And moving on to the final new amazing endgame content, we have the Blackrock Eruption event. Some were excited about this event, some people were hyped about it, but there was one negative connotation to it, the PvP. Now before I touch onto that, the PvE of the event, it's fun. It's a nifty little event where you can go in there, kill mobs, do your dailies, get the rewards, turn them into upgrade your profession gear so you can get higher fire resistance gear.
Yeah,
so
true.
across the board, it's not actually bad at all. But that is one half of a point. Because the other side is terrible. And that other side, the bad side, is the Blackrock Eruption's Blackrock Mountain PvP angle. And that angle is brutal, bitter, hard, harsh, oppressive, depressive. I'm running out of words to say here. But across the board, it's just not the greatest system. Now, if the player base weren't as griefy as they were, this wouldn't be a big deal. But the player base of Classic in particular enjoys hurting the other faction. Alliance scum, Horde bastards, you name it. There's an insult, there's a word, undead piece of shit, gnome rat, paladin cuck, shaman beta. Whatever you think of, whatever class you
Did you have any more descriptive words? Like, come on, man.
pick, there is a name and an insult for that class race combo. And that's just how the Classic player base is.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing necessarily. The problem though becomes, in the Blackrock Eruption event itself, people can't even get into Blackrock depths. Now I should clarify here, this is mainly a PvP server problem. On a PvE server, it doesn't matter. It's not a problem for you. It's not a big deal. You can just dally along, play in the flower fields, high five the Horde and Alliance player, depending on what faction you're on.
Yeah, like I want to say, like, first of all, I stopped you at a bad time here, considering the facial expression. But being on Living Flame myself, a PvP server, this event, I am now closer than ever to transferring away from this server and going to like a PvE server. I've never been this close to going to a PvE server that I am right now. Like, every single phase so far, it hasn't really been a problem. Well, every now and then it's a problem, and it's a minor annoyance, but it's never made me this close to the edge of actually just swapping servers as I am right now. So that's just like some feedback on the PvP side here. Once again, I just think like there should be some grace, like 50-yard range outside a dungeon portal where you can't be PvP'd, or place guards outside dungeon portals that would then assist the people getting PvP'd, like we had in the Nightmare Incursions, because World PvP is fine, World PvP is great. What's super cringe is when you have a group of 15 level 60s of the opposite faction spamming AoE outside a dungeon entrance. That is cringe. Huge cringe. And especially when you get plus 300% honor points, or whatever it is, with this event going on right now. Like, going outside BRD when this event is active, that's death. Literally. Yeah, I don't know. Guards? No PvP outside the portal, something like that. Feedback please, comments.
Walk hand in hand, have a pick. But on PvP servers, the cancer is real, and it's not stage 1 anymore.
Oi.
We've hit stage 4, and it's bad. Now, there's no good solution. You put PvP in a dense location, a hotspot where people want to be. People are going to PvP there, especially with a 300% honor gain. It's over. And I don't know what the devs can do to fix this aside from just removing the honor gain, but people aren't going to leave. They're going to sit there and still camp because so many people are doing BRD, they're doing LBRS, they're doing UBRS. Especially when Molten Core comes out in a week and a half, there's going to be ginormous gang squads holding every part of the mountain pass.
Molten Core is going to be trash.
It's only going to get worse. And honestly, there's a lot of upset people. You can look at my comment section. You can look at any other content creators' comment section. Look at Reddit. Look at Twitter. Look at Discord. Look at the forums. People are upset. Now, if you're a Horde like I am, it's an easier time for you as a player. As a Horde player, my faction, especially on Crusader Strike NA, controls the map. There's Alliance gang squads here and there, but for the most part, Horde is dominating. And that cannot be fun for the Alliance player base. So I don't know what the devs should do, but there does need to be a fix with this problem in particular, because I don't want Crusader Strike NA to be a 99% Horde server, because all the Alliance are run off. And I'm not saying that's what's happening, but these problems are true.
It is what's going to happen, though. Like, maybe it's impossible to happen on a PvP server, but it really isn't, because, like, for example, on Living Flame, the next time that they open up, like, if they ever open up free transfers again, I can almost confirm, because what they're doing here is they're forcing PvP, like faction balance on PvP servers, by not allowing you to make more characters. For example, when Horde gets to, I think it's 53%, you cannot make any more Horde characters, so they're keeping it 47 to 53 at a cap, right? But they are not doing anything against you leaving, which means that if you're playing Alliance and you're on the minority faction, you are still free to leave, even if it's a forced like PvP faction balance, right? So when they open up transfers again, to, I don't remember what the server was that they were opening transfers to, but last time we could transfer from Living Flame to a really popular PvE server, which next time that happens, I can see a lot of people going to that server, Wild Growth, like a lot of people transferred from Living Flame to Wild Growth, and if they ever do that again, Living Flame, I can call this right now, is going to turn into a 35-65 server, where 35% are Alliance and 65% are Horde, because so many Alliance players are tired of being in the minority and always being ganked in PvP. And when that happens, it's a snowball effect, where what can happen first? Will everyone on the Alliance move, like take that free server transfer, or will Blizzard lock the server, like not make you able to transfer anymore? Like, what's gonna happen first? Because when we get to 35-65, people are just going to follow ship. It's a snowball effect, where some people start leaving, the more people leave, and it just builds upon itself. So you have the more people leave, and then the more people that leave because people leave, they also leave, and then the more people leave because people leaves, people leaves, the more people also leaves. Right? Snowball. Huge snowball.
Trickle effect. Once a couple people start leaving, it's a whole blown out withdrawal.
Yeah.
Everybody's gone. And then it's just us. The whole world is red. And that sounds like communism, and this is America. So moving on to more fun, happy, playful topics, we are going to be discussing the new Undermine Real currency and how good it has been for the game. In Phase 3, we had Wild Offerings, which were a good system, but fell a bit short. So Phase 4, we get a tarnished Undermine Real, which made the world alive and thriving.
Oh yeah. I really like the Tarnish Undermine Reals myself. Like, for the game itself, I really like them. But oh boy, they messed with my investments. They took my investments and took a huge crap on them. I'm sad, but I'm overall happy, but I'm also sad. I'm depressed, happy, sad, and kind of amazed, stoked, and hyped at the same time. Like, I don't know what to say. It's a good system, though. I think so. I really do. And it makes running dungeons even more, like, attractive. Yeah, even more attractive. You want to do dungeons now. And not just that, instead of farming one dungeon over and over, you want to do all of them. which that's great.
There are people running Scholarman, Stratholm, LBRS, UBRS, Diamol, every dungeon on clockwork, on cooldown, getting their daily reels. And honestly, if it was just gear, or just your flask, or just some of the cool rewards you could get from the Undermine vendor, it wouldn't be that popular. People would get this stuff and they would stop. The reason why this is such a good thing is the Undermine supply crate is probably one of the smartest things Blizzard has done, because it incentivizes people to keep running dungeons every single day. Why, you ask?
Yeah,
Because
and not just that, like this crate, it builds kind of a it's a casino. Like they're putting casino back into WoW by letting you buy a mystery box. This box right here that you can buy for Tarnish Undermined Reals, this can be a 2 gold box, but it could also be a 100 gold box. You just don't know. And that element of unknown, it's kind of fun. It's really fun.
Goddamn rewards from those chests are amazing. 5 tokens, 5 boss kills over 55, and you have the chance at Black Lotus, Arcane Crystals, endgame rewards, Fire Water, anything you could think of that is a high quality profession, herbalism, whatever rewards you can get out of these crates. And that has made the market invigorated, excited. People are actually going out of their way to do as many dungeons as they can per day. This could lead to some burnout potentially. I don't want to speak factually as to what is going to happen, but something's going to happen. People are going to start cooking, getting burnt out and leaving. But we have weeks before that, especially with the world bosses coming soon and then Molten Core coming soon after. But on top of that, the open world itself is thriving. People are all across the world grinding. Some people are in Winter Spring, some people are in Teneris, some people are in Eastern Plaguelands. Wherever there is a farm, wherever there is a gold method to be on, wherever there is herbalism to be done, people are going and doing their professions. They're doing their grinding for reputations. They're just questing. People are actually enjoying the world more than, like I said before, any phase except phase 1. Again, we're not going to discuss phase 2 and phase 3.
That's true.
Those are the solid quotation marks Dark Ages. We move on. The Dark Ages are done. We're free. It's a golden era all over again. And that's why the video's title is as clickbaity as it is. It's time to come back. Because honestly, it genuinely truly is. Honestly though, I don't know if I'm going to run on a PvP server next season. Because it's getting pretty toxic. The min-max culture just across the board. And talking about PvP, Alterac Valley is in full swing. People are grinding it, enjoying it. And Van currently has the same health as he did in baseline.
Like, I am sorry for stopping you mid-conversation here, but like, I'm on the same page where if or when we get a new season and I'm playing, I will not be on a PvP server. I'm just saying that right now. No thank you. But I also made, like, being on a PvP server in Seasonal Discovery was an intentional choice for me. I played on a PvP server, Firemaw, back in Classic WoW 2019, and I moved from that server to Pyrewood Village, a PvE server, when TBC came out, because I didn't really look... I was not looking at the launch of TBC in a fun way on a PvP server, like stepping through that portal when Alliance and Horde all go through the exact same place and start at the same place, and the PvP before TBC opened as well. I was not looking forward to that, so I went to a PvE server, and I've been playing on a PvE server ever since, like TBC Classic, all throughout that, Wrath Classic, and currently on Cataclysm 2. So I've been on a PvE server for the last way too long. Even Season of Mastery, the previous season we had, I played on Kingsfall, another PvE server. So for me, going PvP in Seasonal Discovery was to kind of reinvigorate that nostalgia that I had for Classic WoW, because for me, my Classic WoW experience in vanilla WoW is on a PvP server. That being said, having experienced it this time, for a second time, I'm kind of done. Like, next season, PvE server it is, baby.
Vanilla and Classic, which means Alterac Valley games take about 6 minutes because you can just completely ignore all the bunkers and just kill Van inside his base without having to cap any goddamn bunkers at all. Now, this is probably going to get nerfed. They're probably going to double or triple Van's health, so you actually have to cap the bunkers. But until they do that, 6-minute AV games, 3,000 to 4,000 honor per 6 minutes, depending on the queue times. It's a good time, it's fun, we're all having a goddamn blast. Nobody's queuing War Within Goldmaking AB. Those are dead, at least for another week or two. They'll come back though. And talking about things that are new to the game, we have the new rune, especially the ring and the cloak slot. Now I covered that briefly at the beginning of the video, but the ring slots are amazing. 6% hit for arcane and nature, just having defense specialization, feral combat, just things of that nature. They're really good for the game. Again, Classic has a big problem in the sense that most classes are broken and just aren't very good. But now in Season of Discovery, every class is good. Certain classes are much better than other classes. I might do a tier list at some point, but right now there's no tier list. Hunter is disgustingly strong. Rogue keeps getting nerfed. Druid is popping off. People across the board are just having a good time. I can't wait to see who gets nerfed so I can read the complaining on the forum saying my nerf was not justified. The runes are good. The gameplay is good. Class balance is meh. I'm gonna give it a solid 7 out of 10. The new runes, 9 out of 10. Good job on this particular front right here, Blizzard. At least as of now. When this video comes out, that may be outdated already. And on top of that, one final little addendum. Paladins having their own little squire. I'm really happy for Paladins. That's really cool. I hope in Phase 5 and onwards they add little Paladin squires for other classes. For example, Druid's getting a little triad. Hunter's getting an extra little pet. And things of that nature. It would just be cool. I think it would make an enjoyable element of the game, make PvP a bit spicier, and just make the game feel a little more alive and interesting. And the final point of this video is community and guild. Now, a lot of people's guilds died in Phase 3 and the lead up to Phase 3, but coming into Phase 4, guilds are coming back. People are recruiting. Guilds are starting to pop back off once again. Sure, certain people are unhappy because their guild, their friend group is gone. But this is an MMO, and as much as it sucks for me to say, it's time to move on and find a new family and friend group to play with. That's not what you want to hear, but not every single person's guild was going to come back. So those that did come back to the game and are alone, there are so many people recruiting. Please try to find a guild. The game world is actually amazing now, and I can't wait to see what happens in the coming phases and the upcoming seasons coming after Discovery. There is so much hope, so much fun in the Classic ecosystem. I'm having an amazing goddamn time, and I hope everybody else does as well. Also, this is to Microsoft. Where's Classic Fresh and where's Classic Plus? You make hundreds of billions. Cut a little check to the dev team, let them cook. Thank you everybody for watching. This was Ebonheart. You guys have a fantastic morning, afternoon, and evening. I love you all. Ebonheart out.
Alright, there we go. That's basically the video. So, overall, pretty good video, I want to say. I'm not going to talk too much about it at the end here, because I have been reacting quite a bit to it so far. I turned a 15-minute video into a 42-minute video, like, that's kind of bad, but at least I've gotten my points across. I've talked about how I feel about the phase, while listening to how Ebonheart feels as well, and checking out the video, plus the information at the start. So, yeah, I'm really happy about Phase 4 as well, and I do have a couple of things to complain about, like the 5-minute rant we had in the middle of this video, but apart from that, like, once again, I have enjoyed every single minute that I've been online this phase, so they're obviously doing something right. And I really want to see Classic Plus. I just hope they don't take too many Season of Discovery elements into Classic Plus, and I hope they really listen to feedback, because when people complain, it's usually to tell, like Blizzard, that they think something is bad. If everything about the game is good, then there wouldn't be any complaints. And something I've seen myself, like, so people comment this on my videos when I'm complaining, and they say complaining doesn't help. But I'm on the other part where I think complaining really helps. Telling people, like, when you're unhappy about something, it's important. It's way better than just burying your head in the sand and being like, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, I love this, it's fine. Like, a lot of people for Season of Discovery, they don't want to hear about the bad at all. They would rather me just focus on the good, only talk about the good, and they instantly think that when you talk about the bad, you hate the game. It's quite the opposite. When you talk about the bad, it's usually because you want the game to be good / better. You want it to be improved. People that talk about the bad aspects, they probably love the game even more than the people that bury their heads in the sand and only focus on the good things. Now, there are nuances here, but once again, just because you talk about the bad doesn't mean you hate the game. It's quite the opposite. When you're willing to talk about bad stuff and bad aspects, you like the game and you want it to change, and you voice your opinion instead of just being mute, right? I don't know, like that's my take at least. Like when I make a video talking about some negative aspects of the game, it's not from a hatred perspective, it's from me genuinely loving this game and me disagreeing with the developers on some of the decisions that they make, while still enjoying the game itself, right? Either way, once again, really good video by Ebonheart, and I'm really happy he's having fun in Phase 4, I am as well, so really good video. Once again, the link will be down below, and if you're playing retail, playing the War Within, check out my War Within Goldmaking Guide if you haven't yet. Once again, the link to that will be down below as well, and you can get it for half price by also, while also supporting me at the same time, just if you're playing both Classic and Retail, for example. So either way, thank you for watching. It's been 45 minutes. If you made it till the end, please let me know. That is absolutely insane, so leave a comment down below and leave a like on the video. Thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it. I will see you again in the next video very soon.